moment of silence for Wade Barrett's road to WrestleMania. Wade Barrett suffered an arm injury, I believe a dislocated elbow, during his match on Raw, resulting in about 6 to 8 weeks of being sidelined. Can't help but feel for the guy. He's being pushed. Some big stuff ahead for him for WrestleMania, I believe. Can't happen to Great Khali, no. Most useless superstar other than Hornswoggle. Has to happen to Wade Barrett. Poor guy's been working hard. Had to deal with Nexus, and then the core. That was ridiculous. And now this. This sucks. So Wade Barrett, our thoughts go out to... Ow! Ow! Ha! 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 Oh my god! Ouch! Mother... Alright, this is Motley Experience presents Smack Talk. Again, I am your host, Eric Mauritius. Eric Francisco cannot be with us right now because he has stuff going on with school, stuff that I guess are quote-unquote more important than this talk show. So he'll be here next week, though, so don't worry about it. And I'm just going to get right into it. Of course, the hot topic right now in the sports entertainment professional wrestling world is actually crosses over with, I guess you could say, normal pop culture. Chris Brown and CM Punk are having a Twitter fight, I guess you could say, and all started with CM Punk after Elimination Chamber. He's retained his title, wanted to know who else he would face at WrestleMania to defend it, and I'm guessing was just a joke. We don't think that it's a storyline or anything else. It was just Punk being Punk. He said that he'd like to face Chris Brown and, I quote, curb stomp him. And this was in reference to what happened, I believe it was back in 2009, where Chris Brown and domestic violence with Rihanna. So Chris Brown retorted and saying that, CM Punk, because of his steroid use, didn't know how to, and I quote again, please a woman because of that. And went on to say that he didn't even know Punk was, etc. And in replying to this, CM Punk uploaded a video of himself on Twitter. You should definitely check this out. And in which he just goes to say that women are to be revered in his world, and he's straight edge. He's never done drugs. If you look at him, it's obvious that he's never done steroids. He's not a big guy. Then Chris Brown said, we're the real wrestlers, and he referenced Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Coco Beware, Roddy Piper, etc. So that's going on right now. We don't know exactly where it's headed. Again, I don't think it was a storyline. I don't think it was planned or anything like that. It's just one of those things that happened, and so it's entertaining to say the least of what's going on Twitter. So it's fun to read these what's going on. It's fun to read the tweets, the comments, and everything. So moving on now, we're going to do a quick Raw recap. Monday Night Raw. And it started out with continuing the whole John Cena storyline with Zack Ryder and Eve. What happened was Eve came out, and it started with her in the back talking to the Bella Twins, and then she completed her heel turn, saying that Zack Ryder was an idiot for ever believing they were friends. She was using him, and now she was going to use John Cena. John Cena happened to be behind her when she said this, and when he came out to the ring to talk about facing The Rock at WrestleMania, she came out trying to apologize, trying to act all sincere. It didn't work. Ended up being called the Hosky. Had to be carried out of the ring by referees. I thought it was pretty entertaining television for myself. And that's how we started off Raw. John Cena never actually got to what he was going to talk about with The Rock until later on in the show, but we'll get to that in a second. The first match was Sheamus versus Mark Henry. I thought this would have gone a little longer than it did. A bit more of a struggle since Mark Henry's been billed as such a huge competitor, such a tough guy. Not really though. Sheamus over. Countered the World's Strongest Slam into a bro kick. And then we had tag team of R-Truth, Kofi Kingston facing Primo and Epico with Rosa Mendez. I really hope they're not doing a tag team with R-Truth and Kofi Kingston. Kofi just got out of a tag team. It looked like they were going to push him in singles competition. But now it looks like they might be backtracking. Maybe it might just because of Mania season. They don't have a match lined up for these guys, so they're just trying to find something for them to do. I've heard rumors that Money in the Bank will be here for... we'll have a Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania. That one of the... I guess things that will be different about this Money in the Bank is that only people or performers who have been champions in the past will be allowed to compete. So I don't know if that's gonna. We'll see within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I think if that's really going to happen, because I'm sure that they'd have qualifier matches or something of that sort. And then going on, we have David Otunga versus Ezekiel Jackson. David Otunga with John Laurinaitis and Ezekiel Jackson with Taylor. I actually really like where they're going with this. They're rehashing the whole SmackDown Raw feud, this time with just the managers, because they want complete power over both shows. So this is good. I like seeing Taylor come to the ring with Ezekiel. Only problem is it was basically a squash match with David Otunga going over Ezekiel Jackson. I heard that there were plans for a big push on Ezekiel Jackson, but they were nixed in the last second, so it doesn't look like much will be happening there. Then we have the Triple H Taker promo, where Triple H basically finally accepts Undertaker's proposal for another match at WrestleMania, but this time it will be in Hell in a Cell. So there was some good television. I did read, however, that it went over the time it was supposed to. So it might have affected what happened later on in the show. Either way, it was still a pretty good promo to watch. And then we have Daniel Bryan versus Santino Marella. Huge pop for Santino after Elimination Chamber. Any of you who watched, the pops for Santino were amazing. And it was just because people love him, his humor. It's such an entertaining guy to watch. And but Daniel Bryan going over, making Santino submit to the labella lock. Then we have the Divas match. Nothing much there. And moving on, we have John Cena come out and address The Rock. And you kind of see, I guess you could say, like old John Cena. You know, he doesn't talk in his usual preachy voice. He talked, I guess, with a Boston accent and all that. Calling out The Rock, saying that he's only in this for not because he likes the wrestling, not because he wants to be back at WWE, but just for the paycheck and just to promote his upcoming movies. Great promo by Cena, I think. He broke kayfabe, I guess you could say. It's the kind of thing that if Punk did this, the crowd would be crazy, but because it was Cena, of course, it wasn't very greatly received. So that's furthering that feud. Then we have the 10-man Battle Royale for the WWE title shot at WrestleMania. And Jericho ended up winning. However, there were some casualties as Dolph Ziggler was thrown over the top rope, landed on Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett landed on his arm awkwardly, and he injured it. We're not exactly. He dislocated part of his elbow, from what I heard. So he'll be out at least 6 to 8 weeks, missing Mania. So that's horrible news, especially so close now. And it looked like they were building him for something big. And that's it for the Raw recap. I thought it was a pretty decent show, pretty good show, I think, especially the last I guess hour, you could say, the last half. SmackDown was a huge surprise, a live SmackDown. That was last night. Very entertaining. I thought it was better than Raw, especially the last half of SmackDown was great. Started off with Daniel Bryan, and then The Miz comes out saying that he supported Bryan all this time. He knew he'd become world champion. Poses the question of them possibly becoming a tag team after Mania. Then Sheamus comes out, Bryan cheap shots him, runs out of the ring. Miz is left there to fight him. Then they end up having a Miz Sheamus match. Sheamus wins with the Celtic Cross, which everyone acts like is a new finisher, as if they forgot that Finland used it only a couple years ago. And then we're moving on. There's Kofi Kingston and R-Truth team up again, this time against Ziggler and Swagger. So it looks like there's nothing else for these guys to do right now for Mania, so they're just putting them in tag team matches. Maybe they'll have some special match for the tag team titles on at Mania. Who knows? And Great Khali versus Drew McIntyre. Another McIntyre loss. I don't know where they're going with this exactly. I don't know how he's going to come back. I remember they did something similar with MVP where he was on a losing streak, and that's how he slowly became a face. I don't know how they're going to do this with Drew McIntyre, though. What their eventual goal is. Well, I know their eventual goal is to have him as a kind of playboy character, but I don't know how they're going to accomplish this with what they're doing right now. And Mark Henry versus Big Show. Ended really a no contest. Big Show ends up knocking out Mark Henry because Cody Rhodes comes out to interfere. And I don't know what they're doing with the Cody Rhodes angle now, because what happened on Raw was that Rhodes helped Jericho pull out Big Show after Big Show had thrown out Rhodes. So Rhodes was already out, and he just went back to pull out Big Show. He came out on SmackDown, and he shows an embarrassing video of the week from WrestleMania. Big Show, his sumo match. That was pretty good. I thought something was going to happen with Shaq and Big Show. Are they going with Cody Rhodes, Big Show now? I thought Cody Rhodes versus Goldust was going to happen. Really don't know where they're going with this. I mean, I'd prefer to see him in an actual match than some celebrity appearance. And then again, another Ezekiel Jackson Otunga match. Otunga won again. And then we go to the champion versus champion match, Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk. This was a great match, and I love what they did with the ending with this. What happened was Punk kind of won the match, and John Laurinaitis came out and said restart the match because what happened wasn't exactly fair. So they go back at it, and then Daniel Bryan wins through some devious tactics. Then Teddy Long comes out and restarts the match another time, and then they do a spot with a superplex, but they end up pinning each other when they hit the ground. So we see Teddy Long out there and John Laurinaitis out there trying to raise who they wanted to win, try to raise their hand. End up in a pushing contest between the two managers, and it's really interesting to see where they're going to go with this. So it looks like SmackDown, I think, was a better show out of the two, at least the last half. I really like what they're doing right now. It seems that we're in for an entertaining couple of weeks. I remember this time last year wasn't exactly the most entertaining build-up to WrestleMania. Hopefully this year will be different. We shall see. I want to see what they're going to do with the Daniel Bryan-Sheamus match. I don't think it's going to end up being a one-on-one. But again, things change all the time in that industry, so we shall see. If you want to talk about this, go to @MollyExperience on Facebook. You'll see a bunch of Smack Talk videos uploaded. Go to Twitter @MollyExperience, #SmackTalk. Talk about anything you want that's wrestling related there. And that's it for the show. Again, I apologize, Eric Francisco couldn't be here. He had some projects he had to work on for school. He'll be here next week though, and yeah, that's really it. Can't wait for next week to see what else happens in this crazy world of professional wrestling and what happens with the whole Chris Brown CM Punk thing. That'll be good to see. Alright, this is Aristides Marousas for the Motley Experience Smack Talk. We ended the news segment earlier at around 20 minutes ago. So yeah, that's it for today. Talk to you guys next week. See you guys next week. Take care and stay safe. Have a good one.